Lionhearts? It's your old pal Jordan the Lion, and we are still in Sydney, Australia. And today what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you around David Bowie's Sydney, Australia. David Bowie lived here, made videos here, made records here, and we're gonna show you some of the favorite stops that we were able to find connected to David Bowie. So Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. Check out this incredible fountain in Hyde Park. Hyde Park's kind of cool because it's known for, as the sun starts coming down, they have fig trees here, and so lots of bats come into this park in the evening. You can see bats, they say, anywhere between 3-foot and 7-foot wingspans. So our first stop that we're heading to is David Bowie's apartment. He had this place for 10 years in Elizabeth Bay. This was his neighborhood right here, folks. We're less than a minute away. Said one of the most densely populated parts of Sydney. So this is all you can really get into. It's a gated apartment building at 93, and it's called the King Copel. And he lived here from 1983 until 1992, and actually Rupert Murdoch lived here when he lived here as well. Now David Bowie didn't live here like constantly the whole time. He actually said that he would stay for like a month at a time. He would like to come to Sydney and go on like outback excursions. So he would basically just use it 1 month out of the year, but he loved Sydney. And he said the reason he got rid of it was because he was marrying Iman in 1992 and just figured, you know, they were going to be doing other stuff, and he said it was just too nice of an apartment to let go to waste, and so that's why he gave it up. But when he was talking about it later on in life, he said he wished he wouldn't have given it up. He loved it so much, and that Russell Crowe, he had heard, had moved into this building as well. So you can see the King Copel sign right there. That was the name of the building he was in, and they said that his apartment itself was wall-to-wall black slate. So you can kind of get a look at some of the apartment back there. Kind of neat to see. Now what's kind of cool is that when you come directly outside the exit, the gates, you have this little park right here. So you got to know that David Bowie would have came here and hung out in this little park at times. And in I believe it was 1989, he had a side project called Tin Machine with Reeves Gabrels. And it was David Bowie's music, but it wasn't the theatrical side of David Bowie. It was more like a rock experience. And he recorded the second Tin Machine album in Sydney. And we're actually gonna go over to where that studio was, because there's a couple of hangouts in that neighborhood that David Bowie liked to hang out in. So if you look around this park, his place was right there. You can see in front of us, there's the 301 there, and that was the recording studio that the Tin Machine was working on the new record. Now, a lot of Bowie fans I know do not like this record. They don't like this project at all. But Bowie said it was like extremely important in his career, because he said coming out of the 80s, he didn't really know what he was gonna do next. And this was kind of a good transitional point, because he had done the Glass Spiders tour before this. And at the end of that, he had been talking to Tony Sales and his brother Hunt, who were the sons of Soupy Sales, and he was talking to them about wanting to do a band. Now what he wanted to do was, he said, basically make a band that he would want to listen to. And so there was a woman that he had met that was part of the press corps for his Glass Spiders tour, and her husband was Reeves Gabrels. So when Bowie would make all these tour stops, Reeves would be there with his wife, and he kind of befriended David Bowie, not telling David Bowie that he was a musician. And at the end of the tour, David Bowie had asked her, hey, is there anything I can do for you, since I'm not going to see you for a while? And she gave him Reeves' demo tape. And a few months later, he called him and said, hey, do you want to get together and start working on some songs? And Reeves said, I don't really know what you're looking at doing for the upcoming project. And David Bowie basically said, I want somebody that can be like a guitar hero, somebody that can be Hendrix, Fripp, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jeff Beck all in one. And I want to make something that, you know, maybe I'll play guitar and I'll pass the ball to you, and when I'm not doing anything, you go off on a solo, and when you're done soloing, hopefully you'll have created something totally different, and when you give the ball back to me, I can run with it too. And so that was kind of the idea behind this, was really to be like a rock band minus the theatrics. And you know, they sold 2 million records. Now you kind of have to take into consideration that this was basically like right after David Bowie had done the Let's Dance record, and what he was looking to do and what the other band members were looking to do is they were trying to go in like a Pixies direction. They wanted to go in like a hard rock direction, and that kind of followed Bowie, because when Bowie was finished with this project, he ended up making records that were very similar to Frank Black and the Pixies. So we noticed after looking on here that the studios that are here now aren't listed on any of this, and we also noticed there's no level 7 listed, so level 7 would have been where the studios were that he recorded in. And this was a production that was based off of spontaneity. The Sales brothers said that that was like the whole thing. They wanted to capture the moment. They didn't want it to be polished. They wanted like dummy lyrics to stay. They really were trying to capture like this, like I said, the Pixies, kind of like this free-form moment. So 301 Studios relocated, then it became EMI, and it came a couple of different things. Now it's Level 7 Studios. Bowie himself wanted to make a third record with Tin Machine, but they ended up not doing it. He basically said that there were personal problems within the band that just made it impossible for the band to continue on, and there were rumors that Hunt Sales had developed a drug problem. Never really confirmed, but yeah, he said he was kind of sad they never did a third record. So apparently after he was done recording those Evenings on the Tin Machine album, he liked to go out and have a drink and some food, and the Evening Star Hotel was his place. So we figured, you know, hey, we should have a drink where Bowie drank. So we're gonna go check it out. And here it is. Aren't you guys excited to see what kind of place David Bowie would have drank in? Let's see it. Kind of cool because it's not a swanky place at all. It's more like just like a hangout. And it probably would have been different, much different back then, but it's still kind of cool to check it out. Yeah, you have to know that this must have changed over the last 20 or 30 years, but it's so cool just to be in a place where he used to drink. So now we're pretty close to Chinatown, so we're going to take you to 3 locations that David Bowie used in music videos, including China Girl and Let's Dance. You can tell we've definitely entered Chinatown with the dragon tail here. Here's the head of our dragon. So this isn't in any of Bowie's work, but this is just a great cultural thing that's here in Chinatown, this gold watermouth tree. You can see as you go up that there's little gold pieces along it that kind of trim the tree in here. All right, let's wander in here, because this is probably one of the most memorable parts in the David Bowie China Girl music video for me. This is, it's gonna look a little different because there's literally a tree growing up through the center now, right down here. And I think you'll recognize it. So as we walk over here, you can see that 9 Dragon sign right over here. It's a different sign now. It would have been kind of negative of that. It would have been more of a green sign with either white or yellow writing, but this is the scene in China Girl where you see David Bowie standing right here, and he has the bowl of rice and throws the rice up in the air. And I'll tell you how you can tell, beyond even the 9 Dragon sign, even though this tree is now here and it wasn't there then, if you look at the windows, right on the side of the 9 Dragon sign, those are the same windows and everything in that shot. So now let's go find the scenes from Let's Dance. There's a nice statue of Queen Victoria.
If you cast a coin into the wishing well now, I will say thank you. Thank you. Row, row.
Here you can see a stone from the battlements of Blarney Castle. So we're gonna head into here to make our way over to our next destination. Wow. Here's the rest of our Christmas tree. What the heck? This is not in a David Bowie music video, however it should be. So now we just made our way all the way up to the top so we can see the top of the shopping center and the star. This is kind of fitting because you can see the Aborigines in this clock that are inside this shopping plaza, and that's the theme of the video for Let's Dance. It's basically these two Aborigines in this scene are kind of looking for these red shoes. Let's take a look at this. You can see this boat going around the clock as well, going past all the beaches, Newcastle Bight, Surfer's Paradise. Really interesting. We found it. So right here is where we see the scene in Let's Dance where the couple is walking down through here looking in the jewelry store window and everything. And look, there's the vintage watch company right there. And you can actually match up. These are the same tiles because if you look in the shot, you can see those crosses on the ground. That's when they look up and they see the pair of red shoes up there in the window. Take a look at this. That's nice. So now we're gonna take you to another location for the music video of Let's Dance. Chemist and druggist. Peace and love, peace and love. David Bowie would have loved that. Some nice fun on a hot day. So we were passing by this place and my friend Barry said, you gotta try Harry's while you're here, so we stopped to get a hot dog. Told at their other location they have photos of Bowie on the wall, so I'm sure he would approve of this stop. As we were moving on to our next destination, I noticed that. Huh. Paramount's got an office here. So right here is where we see the Aborigine girl scrubbing the crosswalk. From where she's scrubbing the ground, you can see that building in the distance. And then we see the guy pulling the machine up the road. He's pulling it right up this road, and he ends up meeting her basically face to face in this crosswalk. Now you can tell because when they're face to face, you can see how the windows and all this line up in the background. So that's all happening right there. So now we're gonna head over to the Paddington area and we're gonna check out something that was done after David Bowie's death in memorial to David Bowie. Nice. Well, I figured we'd end today's vlog at the Blender Gallery, which has a tribute to David Bowie for his time here and his inspiration in the music business. You can see you can get your great art of David Bowie here. But that's not all, because they did something really cool on the side of the building to commemorate David Bowie's life. Check this out. What a fantastic mural, huh? Well done. What a great way to remember David Bowie. Nice Aladdin Sane mural here. Rest in peace, 2016. Yeah, there are very few musicians that can stand the test of time, not just from what they've done in the past, but to transcend and to move into new music and still be innovative. And David Bowie always did that, no matter what, whether he was being criticized for it or not. He always was taking new chances, creating new styles of music, going in different directions, and I think that's why he has such a massive following. Rest in peace, David Bowie. I hope everyone enjoyed this vlog today. Now you know if you ever come to Sydney, Australia, that you're walking in the footprints of the great David. Have a great night. Good